I am sorry, lovely Bitcoiners. I had a bit of a technical issue there trying to get it over to the right scene. Good evening, everyone. It is Brian, the UK Bitcoin Master, back as always with my regular Thursday Bitcoin for Beginners show. Welcome to the channel, everyone. Just very quickly, a shout out to Buffy W, John Stramitis, Zaza, my lovely wife, Mrs. UK Bitcoin Master, Pastor Phil. Phil Volman is in the house with everyone, so pound the like button for Pastor Phil joining us for the first time live. Who else did I see? Bitcoin Meister, Adam Meister's in, Rocky Palumbo's in. If I forgot anyone, give me a shout out. I will definitely give you all a shout out. It is great to be with you all. It is 1 minute past 6. It is Thursday, the 26th of March 2020. And as always, people, strong Bitcoin hand. That is the name of the game on my channel. My channel is about buying Bitcoin, stacking Satoshis, getting it off an exchange onto a Trezor. And here's the hardest thing for everyone. Do nothing. Do nothing and get on with life. That's the hard thing, because people think they need to do something with their Bitcoin and they don't. Through all of these troubled times, everything that's going on right now, and you're all fully aware of it without me spelling it out for any of you, people feel the need to have to do something with their Bitcoin and you don't. Okay? Bitcoin will do what it's going to do when it's going to do it, and you or I won't influence it. So it is no point stressing over it. JC Bothers in the house. Welcome to South Africa. Great to have you with us. I don't know if I gave a shout out to John Stramitis. I think I did. I believe, John, you're in Malibu, aren't you? Like we really want to know that. I believe even Adam Meister is down near you as well, in warmer climes as well as rocky. So welcome to everybody there over on the west coast of the US as well as South Africa. Right, if I can, let me just do the preliminaries. Check me out at bitcoininterviews.com and ukbitcoinmaster.com. They're the two websites that I have that house my videos, and obviously one houses all my Bitcoin interviews. Common sense, I won't labour that point. If you want to check me out on all of my social media platforms, you can do that by going to one simple link, Cointree/UK Bitcoin Master, and there's one page with all my links on. Now, a quick update for everyone. For some reason, YouTube are not, or they don't appear to be sending out notifications. I always have my notification on to let all of my subscribers know 1 hour before the live that I'm going live, and it's not happening. Same with me, I don't get the notifications when Bitcoin Meister in the chat goes live. I have to just keep checking, which is so flippin' annoying. So how can you get around that? I want you all to find me on Twitter at UK Bitcoin Master. If you follow me on Twitter, I always post a link 1 hour before the live and about 5 or 6 minutes before the live. That way, if you got your Twitter notifications on, you will not miss me going live or miss the start of me going live. So I don't know what YouTube are up to. They're making all these changes and it's just crazy. But there you go. It is what it is. So make sure you're following me on Twitter and then you will definitely get notified. If you want to get my attention in the chat, you must type in UK Bitcoin Master before you type anything. It will then highlight it in orange to me as Mrs. UK Bitcoin Master just said, I got my half-hour notification. Well, that's really interesting because I don't have a 30-minute notification. That's got to be something to do with YouTube. I've got it set up on my YouTube channel to notify all my subs 60 minutes before I go live. Okay, that's all I've got set up. So where the heck that 30 minutes comes from, I don't know. I want to give a quick shout out, if I can, to my great friend down in Melbourne, Australia, Bitcoin to the Moon. Great merchandise he's got, as well as Dan Just Learn Bitcoin that I promote as a show sponsor. So do check out bitcointothemoon.com, and I'm very proud and privileged to wear his shirt. I've met him in person. We spent an afternoon together when he was over in the UK, and it was absolutely superb to meet him. And I want to meet every one of my Bitcoin friends. So we've got to be patient. We've got to wait for Bitcoin to moon. None of us know when that's going to be. We've got a halving coming up, haven't we? We've got all this trouble that's going on around the world. Economy's crashing, blah, 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 blah. So we need to be patient. We need to have long-term thinking, as says the Meister. So let me get rid of that. One more thing if I can. I'm all over the place. If you want to drop a lightning tip and you really don't, you can do it there at tipping.me/@UKBitcoinMaster. That's enough of all of that. Do like this video, share it, subscribe, bash the bell button. So you get notified. But bash the bell button just the same. And the one thing I would really ask is please pick up the link to this and share it on Twitter. You can even do that now. If you're on a phone, it's dead easy to do. If you're on your computer, if you've got your tabs open like I always do, just pick up the link, go over there and say, head on over and check out UK Bitcoin Masters live show. I'd really appreciate that. That would again help the viewers to come and find me. So let's get on with the show. I've got a few things that I found that I want to share with you. So let's get my screen up. I guess the first thing we need to have a quick look at is the price. And, it's not drastic, is it? With everything that's going on, it's sideways, definitely. It's flat. It's not going anywhere. But when I say it's not going anywhere, it's not going down as well as not going up, which is always good, isn't it? Because it's gonna go to zero. All the doomsters have been out saying Bitcoin's going to go to zero again. Of course, it hasn't. So it's sideways. It climbs a bit. It goes down a little bit. It runs sideways. Guy Bennett, welcome to the show, my friend. Great to have you with us, as always, when you can make it. So the price, mid 6,000s. Hey, would you have taken that at the start of this year from 3 to 6? Yeah, I would have done, definitely. So let's keep that one in mind. I found this article on Bitcoin Exchange Guide from Tim Draper, the VC or venture capitalist, and he's very, very bullish on Bitcoin. And he made a statement. He said this crisis will recognize Bitcoin as simply a better way to hold value. Now, we already know that, us strong-hander, 20% mentality type people, don't we? But it is always nice. It is always refreshing when a huge figurehead, a billionaire like Tim Draper, says something like that. I think I highlighted something he said, but flipping heck, I can't find it now. I've lost all that. I think it said institutional panic triggering the market. In the past few weeks, the crypto market took a deep fall with Bitcoin falling over 60%, blah, blah, blah. According to Draper, no, that wasn't what I was looking for. The venture capitalist and Bitcoin investor is known for his prediction of 250,000 by 2023. He's still holding firm with that, apparently. Where is it? I think companies like OpenNode and Lightning Network will make it a lot easier to spend Bitcoin, and new companies will take advantage of the blockchain and smart contracts to create more frictionless and honest systems of commerce. So I think the point I'm making there, because I don't, I'm putting my hand here and saying I don't fully understand all the technicals that they talk about. But what I take from that as a novice is that, if they're still talking positive stuff, people like this with influence, can that be only good for Bitcoin, bad for Bitcoin? Well, personally, I think that can only be good for Bitcoin. I found this article, I think it's a couple of days old now, but I thought it worth sharing. We keep hearing about fake Toshi saying that BSV is the real Bitcoin. It's going to take Bitcoin down. Hey ho, well, way to go. Let's see, the market will decide, I guess. But, what I found here was something I found interesting, and it said, a mysterious mining pool has just captured the majority of the Bitcoin SV network hash rate. prompting concerns about the security of the network. According to data by CoinDance, an unknown Bitcoin miner or miners has significantly ramped up mining operations on the BSV blockchain in the last few days. This now accounts for more than half of the Bitcoin SV hash rate computing power that secures the network. And it goes on to talk about the potential of a 51% attack if that were one miner. Now, I show you that, I go through that because I'm telling you, it is nigh on impossible to do a 51% attack on Bitcoin. You would need a country and all of its wealth to really be able to do that. It would take billions because of the amount of hash power that we've got around the world supporting the Bitcoin network. Now, that's down a bit. I appreciate that. But, Rocky Palumbo, who's in the house, he's always great at showing charts that show the hash rate of Bitcoin compared to the hash rate of something like BSV or BCH, otherwise known as Btc'S. So I just thought this was worth mentioning, and my argument to you without any financial advice is what chain would you rather put your hard-earned pounds or dollars? On a chain like Bitcoin that is as secure as you're ever going to get, or in something like this where a miner can come in and simply take over half of the network? So, again, Bitcoin people, that's where you need to be putting your dollars or your pounds without any financial advice. Now, Michael Novogratz, love him or hate him, love him or loathe him. Again, he says 2020 is Bitcoin's year as industry sees surging volumes. Now, again, you got to take this stuff with a grain of salt. I'm just bringing you stuff that, is a positive spin around Bitcoin. It says 2020 may well be the Bitcoin year. And he went on in a previous article to say it must be the Bitcoin year. Well, I disagree with that entirely. But it may be Bitcoin's year. None of us know how this whole thing is going to pan out because none of us have ever lived through this type of scenario before, have we? So, again, Bitcoin will do what it's going to do when it's going to do it, and you or I won't influence it. But it says, if one is to believe Mike Novogratz, the CEO of crypto merchant bank Galaxy Digital, recently said 2020 will be the year the premier crypto shines. Moreover, other crypto industry profiles are also suggesting that crypto volumes are surging. Novogratz's recent comments came on Twitter. He noted that Bitcoin will likely stay volatile over the coming months. However, despite the fact that the wider stock market plunge brought the crypto market down with it, Novogratz still believes 2020 will be Bitcoin's year. So I think, again, remains to be seen, doesn't it? But again, we've got another figurehead, influencer, I don't know, whatever you want to call these people, talking positively about Bitcoin. And I'd be deeply worried if people like him, Tim Draper and the like, were maybe talking negatively about Bitcoin. I'm not saying I'd, sell my position. It's never going to happen. I'll go down with the ship. But what I'm saying is the more these people are saying positive stuff, the happier I am and the happier you guys should be. I can see stuff buzzing on in the chat. If you want me to see something, don't forget to type that UK Bitcoin Master in there first, please. And don't forget to pound the like button. If you don't hit that like button, it doesn't get this video up and seen by more people. So, leave a comment. If you're watching this on catch up, good or bad, leave a comment, because by leaving a comment, it gets the video seen more. Moving on. As Trump talks trillions, Binance CEO predicts a 2 trillion Bitcoin market cap. Wow. So let's have a look at what that is. Will a devaluing US dollar push Bitcoin to 100k? Not interested in clickbait stuff, just an article I'm reading. The Federal Reserve and central banks around the world have started churning out fiat money in an attempt to prevent a deeper COVID-19 driven financial crash through quantitative easing or QE. Trillions are on the table, and Bitcoin has already seen price gains following the Fed's suggestion that it could print an infinite amount of cash. According to Zaho, Bitcoin ride this wave all the way to 100k. As we get used to talk about trillions, a modest 2 trillion market cap of Bitcoin would put one Bitcoin at $100,000. So, not such a hard to imagine scenario right now. And I personally think as this situation that we're in, this global situation plays out, however it plays out, we are ultimately going to come through it. We're going to come out of it. I think that is when people are going to start to cotton on to Bitcoin and its properties. I really do. And again, I think maybe through the summer months, we're not going to see much growth. I don't think. I don't know. I haven't got a flipping clue. What do I know? I'm just Brian, the UK Bitcoin master, choosing to run a YouTube channel and sound off with my thoughts. But maybe at the end of this year and certainly 2021, maybe we'll be shocked at what happens with Bitcoin. Maybe we won't. Who knows? Pastor Phil, okay, sorry, that was picking up UK Bitcoin Master. Sorry. Right, moving on. This is a problem, people. I've got to try and help Elaine do something with her Mrs. UK Bitcoin Master, because where there's a gap between Mrs. and UK Bitcoin Master, it is highlighting it in orange, and I think somebody's trying to get my attention. So maybe you people could type in Mrs. UK Bitcoin Master, and maybe that might deflect it to Elaine instead of flashing it orange on my screen, because I keep looking over out of the corner of my eye and seeing what's going on over there. Okay, so what is this about? Coronavirus, the halving and a price drop. Bitcoin mining marches on. Nothing I want to read to you there. The articles will be in the notes below, so do go and read them. But my point, we've got this awful pandemic going on. We've got a halving coming up in 40 odd days. We've had a price drop, and yet the Bitcoin mining just marches on. What I'm trying to say to you is, what the hell is going to stop Bitcoin apart from something like quantum computing? It's not going to happen, is it? They're not going to turn the electricity off. You can even move Bitcoin around now through satellite, so you don't need the internet. So, it marches on regardless. The theme of my channel is that Bitcoin will do what it's going to do when it's going to do it, and we just won't influence it. Yeah? But it doesn't matter what's going on around it. It just seems to march on. There we go. The halving is 48 days and 5 hours, 42 minutes and 10 seconds away. Now, nothing is going to stop that halving from happening. And when I said a few minutes ago that the masses will catch on, let me tell you now, when people start to realise, and there is always a delay in people getting this, but the halving will happen somewhere in May, 48 days from now. And the amount of Bitcoins produced in 10 minutes will go from 12.5 blocks, mining blocks, not Bitcoins, to 6.25. Now, you want to think about that, people, because all of a sudden the supply chain is cut in half. There's a massive supply shock. So Bitcoin's churning out supply is cut in half, while the Fed and governments around the world are printing trillions and trillions out of thin air. And now, I know they've got to. People's livelihoods, massive organisations are failing around the world. And if they don't, we're going to completely go into an economic meltdown, and the world's just going to go back to the dark ages. So they have no choice. But of course, in the short term, that helps. But what about the long term, the next 6 months, year, 2, 5? What's the economy going to look like? This money injected is supposed to stimulate the economy, and it's not doing it. So ultimately, people are going to wake up to cryptocurrency. These countries, I do believe, are going to start producing their own digital bank, their own digital dollar, currency, whatever it is. That's going to get people into digital, and then they're going to wake up to Bitcoin. The scarcity aspect's going to kick in, and you don't need to have the brains of a rocket scientist to know what could happen, what might happen, what I think's going to happen. Mindful of my words, no financial advice intended. I just don't think there's anything can stop this thing from happening. Maybe its growth has been delayed slightly, but again, that's just my opinion. Let's wait and see how the whole thing plays out. So let's just have a quick interlude while I quickly give a shout out to the show sponsors. JustLearnBitcoin.com. You do want to check them out if you're new to the channel, if you're new to Bitcoin, because whatever you're looking for, wallet setup and backup, long-term storage solutions, mining, vanity addresses, recovering coins sent to the wrong chain. You know, there are people over there that can help you to make that happen. I would definitely check them out. They've got a great shop there. I love that bracelet. If I pop this one up, you can have a look at the BTC bracelet. I'm wearing mine, people. Absolutely love these bracelets. So do check out BTC bracelets. There's a 25% off discount code there at btcbracelets.com. They're flashing across your screen. Mate, they are wicked. Sorry, that's an English terminology. They are wicked. And you want to get hold of a Bitcoin bracelet, and then, you know, people will say, what's that you're wearing? So there you go. You can check it out there. Great apparel store, merchandise, everything from t-shirts, hoodies, beach towels, mugs, mats, I believe. There's something there for everyone. I want to draw your attention back into the homepage, just inside the homepage. And this is going to be slightly weird because this lovely man is on the show with us right now. But I want you to click this black button here that says, please help return 14.2 Bitcoin to Phil and his family. So Pastor Phil is on the call with us. There's the lovely gentleman there. Pastor Phil's drinking. Crikey, that's a few years ago now. Sorry, Phil. So, you know, do check out his site. This was put together by Rocky Palumbo for us. You can see the supporters there. There's a couple of videos that we did explaining how Phil was scammed out of his Bitcoin. And Phil, I know you're watching, and I know it really hurts. It does hurt, and I know. And that I probably would be sick to the pit of my stomach. But, you know, again, I've got to talk about your plight, my friend. So, you know, do check out these videos to explain how he lost it. There's also a QR code there for a donation. You can also click this if you're on a computer, and it will take you over to the site. I would encourage you to read Phil's family story. What a heading. Bagpipes, Bitcoin and broken dreams. Now look, I'm going to spin the scroll button. One scroll and I've hit the bottom. Less than 5 minutes to read this, people, and I would encourage you to read it, and then I would encourage you to make a small donation. Rocky very kindly put up the transaction ID there, with Phil's permission, of course, along with all the transactions that Phil made in building his Bitcoin. I hate the word stash. I don't want to say portfolio, but I'm thinking his Bitcoin position. That's the word I'm looking for. So any techies on here or watching this in the future, you know, maybe you can decipher that transaction ID and see who the git is that stole Phil's Bitcoin. So please, can we encourage you to head over to Tallycoin and make a tiny donation? Now, if you don't want to donate your Bitcoin that you've got on your address right now, all you've got to do is head over to wherever you buy your Bitcoin, buy $10 worth and just send it straight to this address here. And then you make a tiny donation to Pastor Phil. And I know, and Phil's in the chat right now, that Phil wants to thank each and every donor personally, and when we get him to his 1 Bitcoin milestone, Phil, myself and Rocky Palumbo are going to do a live show so that Phil can thank you all. So do head over and make a tiny donation, people, because I'm telling you, you would not want this to happen to you and your family if you were just doing a firmware update and you missed something out of the corner of your eye and all your Bitcoin was gone. I know Phil has been sick to the pit of his stomach ever since it happened, even today. And our goal is to help him get some or all of that back. So let's get on with the show. I found this tweet from Guy Bennett, actually. I don't know if Guy's still on the show, but he was on a little bit earlier. I think he was replying to Infinite American Hodl. This will be the hardest hodl of your life. The emotions will be severe, things you've never felt before. It's going to be, I won't use that word, a bleeping roller coaster. Stand strong, and if you do, you'll be victorious. I agree with Guy. Never own a single Satoshi that you can't ride down to zero. To do so means you are over leveraged, i.e. don't buy Bitcoin on a credit card or take out a loan or mortgage your house against it. The financial advice I will give you is do not buy any Bitcoin that you can't afford to lose if it went to zero. We've got quite a decent position in Bitcoin, but I'm telling you, if it went to zero, we would ride it to zero and it would not affect our livelihood day to day because it's nothing to do with any of that. Now, do I think that's going to happen? No, I do not, people. But equally, what Guy is saying, you should never over leverage or leverage yourself, and don't buy what you cannot afford to lose, because this is volatile, and I'm telling you, it could really come back and bite you. Everyone's number is different. You'll sleep like a baby at night and easily just buy the dips. And there's a GIF there with Leonardo DiCaprio in it, but I'm not running the GIF. Okay. FDIC Gov. Here's an interesting one. The US government or the FDIC, whoever it is, I found this is all over Twitter. Forget the mattress. Keeping large sums of cash at home is risky. The best place to protect your money is in an FDIC insured bank where it's safe and sound. Learn how the FDIC safeguards your money. Yeah, right. You know what? Do they want everyone to go and take all of their money out of the bank? No, they don't, because they haven't got it all in the bank. It's called fractional reserve lending. If you're not aware of this, people, if you're watching this on catch up, you put $100 into your bank and your bank has only got to keep 10% of that, and the other 90 they can loan out. They can even sell it to another bank and they can go and loan that, and it gets loaned and loaned and loaned and loaned, but it's only $100 got deposited. That is fractional reserve lending, people. And if everybody started taking their money out of the banks, they would collapse, people. Casso, welcome to the show, my friend. I've just noticed you there. You may have been in a bit before, but I'm trying to keep an eye on the chat, but it's moving up and down like a fiddler's elbow. So, here's the thing. I don't trust banks. I really don't. And bit by bit, I'm pulling all of my money out of my bank. Not my money to pay all my bills, but the money I've got in my other account for the future. It's coming out, people. So little bit, but you don't know how this COVID-19 and the lockdown and industry, economies crashing, we have no clue how that's going to affect the economy, the banking industry. None of us have a clue. So, ignore all that, in my opinion, at your peril is what I'm saying. So I watched a movie last night again for the second time. If you haven't seen it, it's well worth watching. It is called The Big Short. And it's all about how they shorted the housing bubble in 2008 and how these mortgage companies, these banks, were loaning money across America to families that didn't even need to prove their income. Some of them didn't even have an income, and they were over leveraging, and the whole thing collapsed. Lehman Brothers went down, then the financial crash happened. It's staggering what these banks, mortgage companies, JP Morgan was at the forefront of that film. Mate, seriously, sorry, that's an English terminology, Rocky. I don't mean call me mate, but it's just mate. Blimey, that's terrible. Sorry, rambling on a bit. Another tweet I found from Bitcoin Tina. Controversial individual. Always speaks his mind, I have to say. Love it. 3 little words. Gradually, then suddenly. Now, you can take that in 2 ways. That could be the COVID-19 virus. It could be the collapse of the economy, or the economy going into meltdown, or it could be, and probably is, Bitcoin. Gradually, then suddenly. So gradually is where we're at now. But you know what? There will come a point not too far in the future when it won't be gradually anymore. It will be suddenly. I remember I got in May the 23rd, 2017. And the first person I sought out and found was some crazy dude by the name of Bitcoin Meister. He was singing from the rafters about Bitcoin, and I got sucked into his energy and his enthusiasm. And then I heard him on something called Crush the Street, and then I saw him somewhere else, and I thought, I've got to follow this guy. And I followed him every single day for the last close to 3 years now. And you know what? The point I'm making is during the summer of 2017, there wasn't a great deal going on, but we all know then what happened. By the end of 2017, December the 17th, I believe, when it peaked and it hit its peak, and it went up thousands in days. If you don't think that's going to happen again, people, you're nuts, because it is. We just can't predict it. So what Tina's saying is gradually, then suddenly, and the whole thing happens. And that's why traders will get totally wrecked if they try to guess these markets. Heidi blockchain chick, lover or hater, bit controversial to certain people. I look for tweets that I think are so relevant, and no matter what she says and how she says things, I love tweets that are relevant to my show. So many people have been changing their minds on Bitcoin. Bullish, then bearish, then bullish, then bearish. Learn to tune these types of people out. Bang on there. Their emotions sway in the wind. They do indeed. I've been bullish since $100 Bitcoin and have only become more bullish each year. I wholeheartedly agree with that tweet. That's how I feel. No matter what is going on with the price, I am always bullish. Ask my lovely wife. Totally bullish all the time. Even when I'm telling her I've just checked the charts and Bitcoin is down, I'm bullish because I know where it's going over the long term, people. I think there might be one more tweet. Yeah, Victor's been on this show before. I think possibly he's either been a guest on Adam's show or he's been in the chat on Adam's show. I think most people, brackets, even Bitcoiners, are vastly underestimating how insanely Bitcoin could pump in the midst of all this chaos. None of us know, do we? We just don't know. Do you want to take the chance? Do you want to not have a position in Bitcoin, no matter how small, and then you see that pump and live to regret it? No, don't. Get in the game. Get some skin in the game, people. I'm just going to head over to my last screen of my show for you because it's relevant to this, and that is sometimes later becomes never. Do it now, which is what I'm really talking about here. Don't wait until the thing starts to go mental because you're waiting for it to drop a bit more to buy some sats. Get in the game now, because none of us know when the thing's going to moon. So peeps, thank you for being on the show as always. As always, strong Bitcoin hand. That is the name of the game. As always, please like this video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, bash the bell button so that when YouTube does notify you, you'll get notified, or when it works. Follow me on Twitter at UK Bitcoin Master. That way, make sure your tweets are switched on. You will know when I go live because I always tweet out an hour before and 5 minutes before the show. Always. I would also suggest that you go to Cointree/UK Bitcoin Master and hit and follow me on all the other channels, because none of us know if YouTube in its infinite algorithmic wisdom decide that they want to take my videos down. If you are following me on the other platforms, I'm on Library. All my YouTube videos have been migrated to Library TV. It does it automatically for me, which is superb. I'm also uploading these to DTube. Where else? There's some others. They're all on that platform I just shared with you. So that is the show for today, my lovely family, my Bitcoin family from all around the world. Pound the like button, people. Thank you for being on the show. That is the end of today's show. I will be back on Monday, as always, at 6 p.m. UK time with my regular Bitcoin for Beginners show. Shout out once more to my good friend down in Australia, Bitcoin to the Moon. If you're watching this channel and you want me to promote any of your merchandise, particularly t-shirts, hoodies, anything, get one over to me and I will wear it and promote you as well. So thanks for being on with me, guys. Going to end it. Pound the like button. Have a super morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Stay safe. Look out for others. I'll catch you all on Monday. If you're on YouTube, click on the squares as they come up. If you're not on YouTube, they won't come up. Take care. Catch you Monday.